I'm Type V3, and welcome to my new show. For a while now, I've been wanting to produce a series of videos that deal with the broader spectrum of the toy and hobby industry, as well as find a way to interact more directly with the fans of this channel. And I figured with it being a brand new year, what better time than now to implement this plan? Of course, before we go into the show proper, it's probably best if I explain to you what you're about to get. So I've decided that this is going to be a bi-weekly show, otherwise every 2 weeks. And the show is going to consist of 3 parts. The first part is going to be news. Basically, what's the latest announcements, what are the newest pre-orders, all that fun new stuff that we collectors get hyped about. Now, I'm not going to go through everything. I'm just going to pick out a few select stories here and there that specifically interest me or what I think that the fans of this channel would be interested in. The second part of the show is going to deal with acquisitions or things that I've purchased in the recent days. You can think of these as, I guess, small little unboxings on a more regular basis. So sometimes these things that I buy just will never get a review, or they just don't have a place for a review, but if you want to know my thoughts on them, you can feel free to leave a comment and I will hopefully get back to you on it. That leads me to the third portion of the show, which is going to be the feedback/comment section. And it's as simple as it sounds. I'm going to go through the comments across all my videos. I'll pick out some of the more popular questions and I'll just answer them right here. Think of it as a more regular Q&A session. Or if you have something you want to say regarding, let's say, one of the new news stories, maybe something I missed but you want my opinion on, I can definitely talk about it there as well. So that's what you're going to get in this show. Every 2 weeks, I'll be talking about some news, showing you the latest things I've bought, and then, of course, the interaction between me and you, the viewer. Hopefully that's simple enough. Now let's get on with the first episode. With this still being very early on in the year, toy news is relatively light, but there are 4 main things I've picked out that I want to highlight. First thing is Sentinel has finally revealed pre-orders and announced the latest in their Riobot line, which is the Evangelion/Godzilla crossover, and I believe they're calling this the Shiryu, which is a combination of Mechagodzilla the Kiryu and Unit 01. I think this thing looks gorgeous. It reminds me a lot of Zone of the Enders mixed with a Metal Gear, which I suppose isn't too surprising because it is penned by the same guy. The only thing that I question is the colors. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe it's just me, but I absolutely love the color scheme of Eva Unit 1, the purple and the green. I understand why they went with silver because that is the main color of Mechagodzilla. And this one still looks cool as it is. I do kind of hope there is a recolored version of it being purple and silver, or who knows, maybe a black one. Regardless, I think it looks very cool. It's gonna retail for above the 20,000 yen price point, but hey, it's Sentinel. Sentinel's always expensive, and if I could spend my entire budget on one toy company, it would be Sentinel. It looks very cool, and I look forward to seeing it released in July. I'm gonna do everything I can to get this one, but no promises. Next up is the SIC Kamen Rider Baron Banana Arms from Kamen Rider Gaim. I'm a Kamen Rider fan. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest Kamen Rider fan, but I really did like Gaim. Probably the best Rider series for me that I enjoyed watching. That's the one I loved watching the most because it felt like a live-action anime as opposed to Monster of the Week Cell toys that the formula of Kamen Rider usually is. Baron was my favorite rider because he was the knight-based one and he had a banana attack, and hey, what's cooler than that? The thing about Kamen Rider, though, is that I've never been too sold on their costumes because they've always just looked like really elaborate cosplay ideas. And I don't mean that in the most positive of ways. Like, every time I watch a Kamen Rider show, I do think it's super cheesy and that a lot of the costumes are just childish, but I suppose that's the aesthetic they're going for. But with SIC, they definitely try and give a bit more creativity and artistic liberty and a bit more fantasizing of what it should look like, and I think this looks really neat. Comes out, I believe, in June, looking at around just under the 9,000 yen price point. I'm super into it. I really want this one. I don't have any Gaim merchandise, but I really like the show, and I feel like if If I'm going to get one thing, it's going to be this thing. Next up, there was a whole slew of new Gundam pre-orders coming out, but the only thing that I really am interested in is actually a re-release. And that is the P Bandai exclusive high-grade Build Fighters Easy SR Foxhound. Now, the Easy SR is one of my favorite kits from Build Fighters Try. I absolutely love that kit, and it's something I always recommend to people who are just starting out because I feel like it's a fun build, plenty of ways to customize it, and like in the box you get so many parts, you can just do whatever you want with it. And the SR is this red version which incorporates all the parts together. I really like the color red. I really like the kit. I don't know why I skipped it the first time, but it's come back, so that's a sign that says, hey, guess what? I need to get it, and I will. And I think you should too, because I think it looks pretty hot. The last piece of news is the silhouette was released for the new Barbatos Lupus form, or the latest Barbatos form, which is probably going to be the last Gundam Barbatos for Iron Blooded Orphans. And if you look at it, it looks very pointy, it looks very aggressive, and it looks very beast-like, and I think it looks so exciting. The thing about this silhouette that I love the most is that it doesn't have a giant backpack on it. Gundam designs tend to be, or traditionally, when a Gundam goes through its final upgraded process, it's almost, I want to say, expected that the Gundam gets a giant set of wings on it. And I've always hated that sort of design mentality. I mean, you look at anything from Wing Gundam to Seed. Even my favorite series, G Gundam, the Burning Gundam or the God Gundam, essentially had a giant winged backpack on them. And I've never liked that design. And so it makes me super happy to see that the Barbatos, or at least the silhouette, isn't really implying a giant set of wings. Now, you all know that Lupus translates to the word wolf. And when I look at this silhouette, I do get a very, I guess, wolf-like feeling from it. And it just makes me think that maybe it would be sort of like a cross between a mecha werewolf. And I think that would be such a cool idea. It reminds me of, if you've ever seen Evangelion, the third movie, when Unit 2 goes into its beast mode. I'm kind of crossing my fingers that the Barbatos has something similar to that, because I just think that's cool. But yeah, no, it's the silhouette could go wrong, but there's also potential for it to be amazing. I look forward to seeing it when it eventually arrives. I believe the first kit's coming around February, so definitely half a month to go before we see the design in its full revealed state. But it's looking positive for me. Okay, so in the past couple of days, I did pick up a few new items. First of which is this. This is the LEGO Star Wars Microfighter Series 2 AT-AT, or AT-AT. I really wanted this when it came out, but for some reason, I never bought it, just because it was just one of those things on the back of my mind and I just thought, I'll get it eventually, in fact, I had no plans on buying this. The only reason I bought it was because I owed a friend some money, and we were at Walmart, and instead of going to the bank, I figured if I just buy something small, I can just do cashback, and I'll end up with a toy I like too, and so that's why I got this. So, pretty hyped to build it. I've only heard great things about it, so super exciting to me. Next thing I got was from Make Toys. This is the Cross Dimension Rider Despotron. If you've seen my Striker Manus review, their version of Optimus, this is their version of Megatron. So excited to get this. This is probably the third-party Transformer that I've been looking forward to the most in a long time, and it looks really good. Can't wait to open it up and see if it is just as good as the Optimus. I'm assuming so, because I believe in the quality of Make Toys, or Make Toys. Yeah, so pretty hyped about this one. And the last thing I got was the HGIBO Gundam Floros, or Flauros, however you want to call it, Ryusei Go 4. I actually was unable to get this on my own, purchasing online. It always seemed to be out of stock or back ordered. Thankfully, I had a friend who lives close by, and he was going to one of our local shops to a hobby shop in the next city over for the day, and I asked for him to look for this for me, and he found it, so he picked it up for me. So yeah, pretty good. Psyched to see what it's like. I just opened it up earlier before this video, and I saw that sticker sheet. Not really too hyped to see that, but I believe it only goes over the weapons, so maybe I can live without them. Who knows? But yeah, the kit looks cool. I definitely like the colors. Shelling mode seems neat. we'll see how it turns out. Alright, time for the comments and feedback portion of this show, and usually what I would do here is that I would go to last week's episode and check out the comments under that episode, but because this is the first episode, there's nowhere really for me to check, so instead I'm just gonna go through all the comments across my entire channel. I've picked out a couple, and we'll just answer them pretty quickly. So first one's from Daniel Lau, and he says, "Hi sir, how do you paint this Gunpla? Airbrush or color spray cans?" Now I believe he's referring to the 1-100 Vidar. It's all spray cans. I don't have an airbrush. I've always thought about buying an airbrush, but then I think about how much use I would actually get out of it, and it just doesn't seem worth it to me right now. Maybe if I get more into the hobby and more serious about model kits and whatnot, but at the moment spray cans seem to work for me. So that's that. Next one is from Impossible Pie. Any plans for top 5 toys of 2016 and the worst 5 as well? As you guys know, I've been doing this for the past couple of years. I do a top 5 and the worst 5, and generally these videos happen towards the end of January. I think I'm going to stop doing that this year. I don't have any plans to do that. It's just not interesting to me anymore. I could tell you what my favorite toy was. I could tell you what the worst one was if you really want to know. But I do have a year-end roundup video that I am currently making. I won't go into any more details than that, but no top 5 or worst 5, but instead you'll have something else that hopefully you'll enjoy. Benjamin asks, do I purchase doubles or just one of each? And he's just talking about figures in general. I believe this is under a Figma video. I can't remember which one. I only purchase one of each. I don't really have a need to buy doubles. I'm not a MSIB collector. I buy toys, I open them up, I play with them, I put them on display. If I don't like them, I sell them. I know a lot of people like to look at them as an investment. You know, maybe they hold their value, maybe you could sell them for a bit more later on. It's never really interested me. To me, a toy is a toy. You play with it, and when you get tired of it, you get rid of it. So yeah, no doubles for me. I just get one of each. I mean, and also doubles are expensive. Like I don't have that. My budget for toys isn't grand, and I have enough trouble trying to keep up with the hobby as it is. So just trying to think about doubling up on all my purchases, I definitely would not be eating, that's for sure, and I would be doing a lot of other neat things in life. So yeah, singles are fine enough for me. The last one is from Danny Lee, and this one isn't specifically from Danny, but I saw a lot of people asking this question, and that was, can you do a review on the Real Grade Build Strike? Well, I think a lot of you longtime viewers know that my favorite grade is Real Grade. My favorite Gundam series is Build Fighters. And I believe I have an unboxing video where I show you guys I have the kit. So I don't know if I'm going to do a review. But there you have it. That's the end of the inaugural episode of Type V3's Hobby Show. I don't know. We'll work on the name. If you guys have a good name that you want to suggest, feel free to leave it in the comments below, and we might use that. I'm still undecided on a lot of these things. I don't even know what day I want to try and put this show out, but yeah. If you liked what you watched, make sure to let me know about it. Things I could change, some additions you want, or things you don't like about the show. I'm open to feedback. We're in the opening stages, but the key is I want to make this show more about you guys, what you guys want me to talk about, what you want to hear from me, and other scenarios like that. Okay, well, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks' time. See ya.